my Garmin endurance score and thus my very rough health span prediction, as in the number of days I have left to live in a quite healthy state, is dropping like flies. And I don't know what to do about this. It's soon Christmas. Last year Christmas, instead of 6.4k, I was at 7.5k, meaning my health span has reduced itself by more than 1/7. That's a drop of 14%. In other words, I lost 3 years of my health span. But how? So first of all, how did I increase my to 7.5k? I got this watch now 3 years ago. Before this, I did not have the Garmin endurance score. I did have a VO2 max running estimate though, because the previous watch I used, the 6S Pro, also had the VO2 max estimate. Now it seems to me that Garmin made the endurance score to bridge the gap between the running VO2 max estimate or cycling VO2 max estimate and the bigger interval measurement, because not everybody runs in a specified manner every single day, and thus the updates of the VO2 max estimates only happen every couple of days to weeks. But of course, every single activity counts. So in order to make it count, it seems to me that Garmin invented the endurance score. And I find this very useful. There was a point about 1.5 years ago where the health span that I predicted for myself with very rough rules of thumb, which was mostly that I assumed that up until age 50, I could live in a state that is approximately about 80% of the health I have in my 20s, which is already quite unlikely, it seems. And afterwards, I don't know. So this is my baseline assumption. And so there was a time when basically the Garmin endurance score and my predicted health span, based on my very rough 50-year formula, were identical. So I, at this point in time at least, now had a metric that put my effort into a relation with its output. How many healthy days I have left is now on my watch. And that's ridiculous. I think this has not been done before. I run for 20 minutes and my endurance score updates. I do a strength training, my endurance score updates. But my Garmin VO2 max estimate does not. So I really tried to improve my endurance score with all the means I had. Meaning, I ran to the gym on New Year's Eve in shorts, doing cold exposure, only to realize that they had now closed. I often had a metal taste after interval training. I try to always take the bike if I can, and of course I also have cardio in my training plan. And my endurance score did respond. It went up from, I think, initially about 6.5, 6.6, 6.7 to then eventually 7.5k. Up until now, I don't know a single person, but I also don't know that many people with newer Garmin watches that have the endurance score, that has an endurance score of 7.5k. Apart from maybe my brother, who has still the 6S Pro, who might have a higher endurance score. Obviously, how else could it be? So why now did it drop so significantly? 3 parts. The first part is that the 7S Pro began to malfunction. So over weeks to months, the heart rate reading was all over the place. I then switched to the 6S Pro. I sent it in, I got it back, I sent it in again. And the 6S Pro was also not particularly good at heart rate reading. But that's only the first part of the story. In part 2,